Okay, maybe we should begin. It's a pretty long patch after all. Okay, welcome to the 7.26b patch. It's a very long one. It's come out today. General changes. Denies no longer grant gold. Deny experience given to enemies increased from 40 to 50%. Melee creeps, base bounty increased by 5. And neutral creeps, base bounty values increased back 10. Okay. So, why don't I just read the whole patch and then I'll tell you what I think about it. Maybe I should do that today. All talents are now about 20% weaker. Doesn't affect upgrades that have no numerical values and are just either on or off. Towers now grant 1 HP regen aura for tier 1 towers and plus 3 for tier 2, 3, 4 towers. Okay. Should make it a little bit easier to defend. Or when you're being pressured under tower. A little bit more regen there. Experience required to reach level 9 to 13 increased by a little bit. That's level 9, so 100. It's pretty big, so it's going to take a lot longer to hit 10 and get your talent unlocked. Reliable gold is now given only for passive income. Okay. Interesting. So that one's kind of cool, kind of interesting. So if that's the only reliable gold you get now, that would mean that your only way to secure buyback is to farm even harder or to be really careful to never spend reliable gold at any point in the game. Because if you're looking at your reliable gold and you only have 500, but you want to buy a 500 gold item, it might make more sense to farm up to 1,000 and then buy that 500 gold item. Because if you save up your reliable gold, you'll have a better chance of having buyback money later on. It's going to make you weaker in the short term, but it could increase your chances to have buyback. So maybe something pro players do. Depending. But maybe not, because maybe they want the temporary bonuses. It also could mean that it's harder to have buyback as a whole. But AoE gold increased by a decent amount. That's 0.6, so that's like 6, 12, 18, 24. It's like 4.5. 4.5, so it's like hooray! It's like a 15 to 20% increase, if I'm not mistaken. So you will be getting more gold from AoE. Neutral item drop times for tier 1 to 4 changed, so they shifted down by 3 minutes. I'm sorry, the tier 2 is extended, but the tier 4 is a little earlier. Okay, I'd like that because I feel like tier 4 items don't come out enough. Tier 2 plus towers health increased by 500. And damage by 25. 500 health is a lot. Damage 25 is a lot. It's going to be a little bit harder to kill towers rapidly. And healing salve duration increased from 8 to 10. Same overall heal. Gloves of haste cost increased by 50. So Midas is more expensive. Power treads. Armlet. Blades of attack goes up by 20. Armlet nerfed by 70 gold. And Ring of Basilius is now even more expensive. And Hooded Defiance is a 200 gold recipe. Yo, they are really nerfing magic resistance items. Very interesting. Maybe this is because magic resistance is just way too good against magic nukes now that Spell Lamp is weaker. God, Pipe is so expensive now. That's actually incredible how expensive this item is getting. Oh god, you're right, I'm not even full screen. My bad, guys, sorry. I suck. Worst patch notes ever. Anyways, we're done. Okay, let's go back and talk about it. Denies no longer granting gold basically means that if you are lane controlling, you're no longer just getting extra gold. You used to be able to get experience for a brief period of time by denying creeps. And the fact that denied experience gives to enemies is increased by 10. This basically is going to help people who are laning poorly to not be as far behind. Because if you're super dominating a lane, you just don't get nearly as much gold. So for me, I really focus on lane dominating a lot. Maybe that's why I had a good patch experience, like dominating a lane. I didn't play that much. I only played like 1 or 2 days. But, and I didn't play until pretty late in the patch, like 3 or 4 days. That was my stream last Thursday, I think. But if you're lane dominating, you're not going to be able to get people as zoned. Like you will get more base bounty from melee creeps. 5 is quite a lot. It means every wave you're getting 15 more gold. But that's about what you would get from the denies anyway. So if people are getting denied, they're not getting as much experience denied, and they also don't give you as much gold. So gold should be a little bit more. With that said, jungling is going to be easier now. 10% value increase on neutral creeps is going to be a win rate increase for anybody that jungles rapidly. So that's pretty huge, especially because those values increase over time. I already saw the AUI tweet about the talents being 20% weaker. I know average people think that they are weak, or that it is a stupid thing, but it's very clear that in the last couple patches, like think of it this way: to make Dota more fun, you have to like break things sometimes and like make them more powerful, so that it feels good to get it. But if you do that too often, you have power creep, which basically means everything is way too strong, and then it might be hard to balance the game because then you're playing turbo mode basically. So at some point you don't want to play turbo, you want to play Dota, and if it gets too close to that, it might hurt the gameplay as well. So doing periodic things like this where they're nerfing down the game a little bit and decreasing things are probably fine. Talents being 20% weaker basically means that when you hit those talent gains, if you have really good talents, then they're going to become much stronger basically than at those like timing windows. So by delaying the experience required to hit these levels, it's like 9 to 13 levels. If a team like snowballs the laning stage and gets to 10 before their opponents, they would normally be like way stronger than their opponents. But now that the talents are a little bit weaker, the teams that get to the talents first or that are winning aren't going to be as strong as they were previously. And some of the talents are like, I mean, 20% is really not that huge of a number. But I don't know, some of them have been nerfed more. Clinks is over. Why is Clinks over? Did Undyne's reincarnation cooldown go up? Go down? It's 300 seconds, you damn liar. It has increased. I don't think it's a big deal personally. They fixed it just now? Oh, okay. That's funny. Well, if my headset turned off, might as well swap to that. Will this see us going back to the solo offlane meta? It's a good question. I mean, originally what pushed the dual lane meta was definitely the amount of extreme gold and experience you had by having lane control. Them losing half experience could definitely mean that you can get away with playing an offlane as long as you're within experience range. So it's possible. I mean, technically things have been reset in the way that we are describing. Why did that say it had full batteries? We have one janky ass headset. Thanks for the sub, Potato. Look at OD's 20 talent. OD 0.08 Sanity's Eclipse multiplier mana difference. Yeah. The numbers are definitely not beautiful. That is for sure. But hope you understand the reliable gold update. So before, you would get reliable gold for killing heroes, I believe towers as well. That kind of stuff to basically say like, hey, if you complete objectives, your gold is going to be safe even if you die afterwards, to help encourage people doing things and being aggressive and fighting. But now you only get reliable gold from the passive gold that you get every minute. You get like 90 gold every minute or something like that, just by being in the game. So that's why even players that are doing nothing still have some GPM. So basically it's going to make it harder to save for buyback is the main thing. You're going to need a lot more gold to save for buyback, because basically if let's say your buyback costs 2,000, or let's say it costs 1,500, and you have 1,500, if you have 1,600 reliable gold and 1,000 extra gold, then it doesn't matter. You could spend 1,000 gold basically and always have that money, because if, let's say, or better example, let's say you have 1,500 reliable gold, your buyback is 1,500, and you also have 200 unreliable gold, so it looks like you have 1,700. But let's say your death cost is 400 gold. When you die, you lose 400 gold. Well, now when you die, you're only going to lose 100. What did I say the numbers were? 100 or 200 unreliable gold, not the full reliable gold. So you'll always have buyback. So basically it's going to be harder for teams to ensure that they always have buyback, because they're basically going to have to balance, do I want to buy out right now, or do I want to buy out a little bit later and save for buyback? And normally that was possible before because you got more reliable gold sources, but now what's probably going to happen is you're going to look at your numbers a lot more and realize like, oh shit, I really don't have that much reliable gold, because I usually buy stuff right as I have the money for it to make sure that I'm strong right now. And by doing that, it's going to make it harder to buy back later in the game. Maybe that's a negative because it might lead to teams being more passive, but it's also potentially an opportunity as well. You can farm jungle from Dire top 2 tower aura. Why, for the regen aura? Is that what you're saying? To get the armor and the HP regen. That sounds nice. +3. Yeah, +3 regen is a lot, actually. That makes sense. Leave it in, screw it. Buff the Dire, I guess. There's probably bugs, yeah, but I mean, doesn't matter. They'll fix them. Is Brawler meta heavily depreciated? So winning the lane fully is going to give you less bonus. But it still is good because you still get more gold from melee creeps. Like there should still be about as much gold. It's also going to be in jungling. So basically like, yeah, offlane stuff might be better just because jungling might be more effective. Like leaving the lane to go jungle could be more valuable. I generally prefer to just win the lane and dominate it that way myself. I think it's more fun. But can I review the talents? Oh, you want me to review 111 sets of talents? I don't know if I'm going to do that. I'll look at a couple if you guys want, but New Deny benefits more to safer offlaners. Definitely offlaners. It basically benefits whoever is having trouble in the lane, which could be the offlaners, could be the safe laners. All depends on who's losing. If you're losing the lane, it is better for you because getting your creep denied means you get 25% more experience than you used to from denied creeps. And your opponent doesn't get gold from the deny. So if you're getting stomped in your lane, it's better for you. Assuming that they still get all their last hits. If they still get all their last hits, then it's probably about the same for the guy winning the lane. But for the guy losing the lane, it's less bad. Absolutely. Thank you for the bets. Do I have my thing on? I don't think I have it on here. Why did I not see I must have turned it off. I'm sorry. But thank you. In fact, I haven't seen many of these subs. Will the reliable gold update hamper the support buyback decision? Probably. It'll probably be harder for supports to buy back. It's definitely true.